Hey guys, it's Simon, and I had a request. I think it was yesterday or the day before for a video on how to set a trailing stop loss on an options position on thinkorswim. And I posted a trade I made on my blog on Thursday, which I'll link to in the description of this video, on a trailing stop loss on a trade I made with Tesla, with a trailing stop loss. And I use that because I tend to, when I use my own judgment, I tend to take profits way too early because I'm super conservative. And so instead of doing that, I had talked to a trading friend of mine, and he suggested a trailing stop loss. And so I tried that, and it worked out really, really well. And so I'm going to continue to do that. But like I said, I'll link to the blog post on the description of this video, and so you can actually read how I did and what I did. So, well, to do a trailing stop loss in thinkorswim, first you have to go to the trade tab, and you'll already have a position open. So I'm actually using some. This is the weekend, so nothing's going to happen with this, and I have to use an actual position that I'm in because I tried this on demand, and I tried it on the paper trading, and neither one of them allow you to do a trailing stop loss, which sucks, but it is what it is. So we're in my actual account, and I have some long positions on Dollar Tree, which I still have about a month on. And they were really cheap options. They were like $10 each, so that's why I'm not really worried about them. But in order to create a trailing stop loss, you right click on the actual position and you go to create a closing order, just like you would normally do with any options position. So you select it, and then the normal box pops up. So where it says the order type, instead of limit, you'll click on limit, and it'll give you the option to select one of 7 or 8 different ways to sell it. So the two that we're actually focused on are the trail stop and trail stop limit. Now, trail stop is just a market sell, and trail stop limit is a limit sell, as per the name. But trail stop limit isn't something that is normally turned on your thinkorswim. Apparently, it is a advanced feature, and so it has to be turned on through your thinkorswim account on TD Ameritrade. And I'm actually going to link another blog post in the description, which actually tells you exactly how to turn that on if you don't have the ability to do a trail stop limit, which is my preferred way, because I prefer to do it over a market. So anyway, you select trail stop limit, and then under the mark, you'll have 3 different options on types of trail stop. The first one is cash. It's just a dollar amount. So you can change this. This is 50 cents, and it's always going to be a negative because it's underneath whatever price you're looking at. So because your mark, so let me explain that. So actually, I'll explain it after we go through all this. So you can change this to whatever price you want it to be, and obviously the larger the number, the more buffer you give it, and the smaller number, the tighter you give. But it defaults to 50 cents, and that'll be, so whatever price the option is trading at, it'll be 50 cents under. Now you have to remember that this is the options price. We're not talking about the underlying price. So it isn't 50 cents under $94.06, which is what Dollar Tree is selling at or trading at that point. It's actually at whatever Dollar Tree is trading at on the actual trade price. So if it's trading at 0.25 cents, which is what it's at, which is what my option is trading at compared to what I bought it for, then that's what the 0.5 cents is actually referencing to. So the second option is your stair stop. And I asked a few people what that meant, and nobody could tell me what that meant. So what I did was I actually contacted thinkorswim support. And thinkorswim support, if you've never used them, are fantastic. They answer questions, they're very knowledgeable, and they're quick. And I've never had a bad experience with them, and their customer service is second to none. So if you ever have a question about their platform, I would highly recommend contacting support chat, which is up in this right-hand corner, and just creating a ticket for us a live support and just go and create a new ticket. So I asked them what that meant, and they told me that it was used for futures trading. And since I don't trade futures, I don't care what it is anymore, and so I just ignore it. And then the final option is a percentage, and I used this for my trade. So what I did was I actually put it at a 5% trailing stop loss below whatever it was trading at. Once it hit a certain once it hit a certain amount of profit, and so once it hit that profit, I set the 5% trailing stop loss, and then as it got more profitable, I changed it to 4. And the way I did that, sorry, 4. And the way I did that was I would just right click on it and then do a cancel and replace and change it to 4. And then ultimately I finished at a 3% trailing stop loss underneath the trading price. So we'll start with the 5, which is what I did. And like I said, it's the weekend, so it doesn't matter. I'm gonna hit confirm and send. And this information is kind of pointless because since this is just closing a position. So this infinite doesn't mean anything, and this other stuff really doesn't mean anything. It's just you're just closing your position if a certain criteria is met. So you'll hit send, and once you hit send, you can go back to your chart, and you'll actually see your trailing stop loss on the chart. So one of the things that kind of freaked me out when I first did this was once it hit a certain point, like it's always underneath whatever it's trading at. But once the price starts coming down, it stays where it's at. And so when the price starts coming down and it's about to cross that line, to me, the first time I saw that about to happen, it freaked me out because I thought it was going to sell once it crossed that line. But it doesn't actually, because when you go back to your trade and you see that the price, the mark price, hasn't actually reached where it should have sold. So this reference line isn't something you should be paying a lot of attention to. Like obviously you'll pay attention to it, but don't think that just because the price is about to cross below that red line that it's going to sell, because that's not how it works. It actually has to reach the price, whatever the percentage price below what you set it at is supposed to sell. So it freaked me out, but don't let it freak you out because it will cross that line, but it won't sell unless it actually reaches the price. So I can actually cancel that now. Actually, you know what? I'm going to redo it, and I'll show you how I actually did the changes. So I created a close order, right? And I did the trailing stop loss at 5%. Wrong way. And then I hit confirm and send. And so I went back to the chart and see it. And so when it got to a certain amount of profit, like I think it was at about $300 profit the first time. And what I did was I actually right clicked on the sell position. You can do it on, it's actually easier to see here. And I hit cancel replace. And once that happened, then I just changed this I added 1% to it. And the reason why it's not highlighted is because this thing isn't worth anything right now. And so I have to actually change it to a price because you can't sell an option for $0 and 0 cents. They won't take it. So I just changed it to 5. So that way it would at least do what I want it to do. So I changed it to 4 and confirm and send. And what that did is it just replaced it. And so it's still there, but now it's at a different percentage. And I did it. And then once I got to another point of profit, I just did a cancel replace again, and then changed it to 3, and then confirm and send. So I'm actually going to cancel all this so that way this thing doesn't sell on market open on Monday. So that's basically how you set a trailing stop loss. It's pretty easy. But like I said, if you want to have the functionality, the advanced functions of thinkorswim turned on in order to use the trailing stop limit, it's linked to the description to my blog posts, which details how to do that. So anyway, I hope that helps you, and I hope if you have any other questions or if you have any other videos you want me to make, just shoot me a comment on here or on my blog, and I will try to make it. I have 2 weeks off, and I have a lot of free time. So for the next 2 weeks, I should be able to put out some videos. So ask away. Thanks, guys.